The boat you can see behind me is a Horizon 62. Now these are actually made in Taiwan by one of the biggest super yacht companies in the world, and there is a real super yacht vibe to this boat, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to take a look around and show you what I mean. Now this boat's actually for sale with Berthon in Lymington, and this is in their private Berthon sales area, so it's quite a good opportunity to have a look around the outside of the boat without out the water and get on board, which we do by going this way. So there she is. She's 2003. I think that's a great looking boat. So we're going to go on board and we're going to do a full tour on this one. Inside, outside, flybridge, foredeck, engine room, cruise quarters, the lot. Let's go. So we're going to start with this cockpit area, which is nicely enclosed by these canopies. We've got the back rolled up at the minute because it's a really hot day. And obviously you can take all these sides out if you want to. Flybridge access is up here, but let's go inside, take a look at the interior, and then we'll work our way out. Now the big news always with Taiwanese boats is the woodwork. They do some really solid, wonderful woodworking, and you can see it straight away in things like this table. Isn't that glorious? Look at that. That's fantastic. And even things like the legs on it are just brilliant. And it's a very spacious filling boat for a 62-foot boat. It's wide of beam, it's got high deck heads up above us, and so when you come in here it feels like a much larger boat. The galley is in the centre, that's just up here, so that's great for catering straight back to that lovely saloon area. And it's got some full-size features as well, like this massive fridge freezer that's full height. So that's a proper domestic thing, and they've got all electric cooking. Dare I? I'm going for Melee this time. Every time I do this I do it differently. Every time I get told I'm wrong, but I go with Melee. That's a Melee dishwasher. Tell me I'm wrong. There we go. I'm right about it being a dishwasher. I may not be right about the pronunciation of Melee, but I don't care. Let's crack on. So over here, this is quite nice, this little bar area. And there's a side access door there, so you can go straight out onto the decks, which is very helpful if you're crew, of course. And then this is like a bar area, so you've got another fridge. So inside the champagne. And ice maker. Nifty. And then that's just the inevitable corkscrew. Okay. Helm position is just at the front. That's rather nice. I love this big wooden wheel. Again, it's typical of the sort of solidity of the carpentry that they put on these boats. You can see it everywhere. And this is rather nice. So that's the main deck. Let's go down and take a look at the lower deck. Okay, where to first? Let's go forward. And up here, there's a really great sized cabin with a double bed. That's right up in the forepeak of the boat. You can obviously see the shape of it coming in. And of course, as you'd expect, ensuite. Really good size, actually. Nice heated towel rail in there. And then you've got the shower area separate. So that works well. Very domestic home from home stuff. And if we go back slightly, there is another cabin. This has got bunk beds in it. So great for kids, but actually they are pretty big adult-sized beds. In fact, that lower one's almost a double. So that's a really good size for adults or for kids, actually. And that one, interestingly, also has its own ensuite. It doesn't share that with the forward cabin. That's got one all to itself, which is excellent. And there's storage in behind. You can just see it there. Okay, back out from here, there's a washing machine tucked away so you can keep up to date with your laundry if you're in a long passage. And then we'll head back again. And this is the owner cabin. So this is full beam. You can see the hull windows that you might have noticed on the outside of the boat. And there's obviously a wardrobe and nice dressing table and more hull windows on this side. And when was the last time you saw a VCR? I'm guessing that was original. This boat was actually built in 2003, so it must be one of the last with a video cassette recorder, I should think. And you've got some great wardrobe facilities in areas like that. So that is a really lovely cabin, actually. I mean, there's a proper super yacht feel to that. Love the woodwork again. As I say, that's what makes these boats so great. Yeah, impressive. And as you'd expect, it has an ensuite. And again, separate shower stall, like so. Cool. Okay, let's head on out and we'll have a look around the decks. So I think what we'll do is we'll head back through the saloon, mostly so that I can collect my shoes, but on the way we'll also stop and have a quick look here, because this is distribution panels for the electrics, which is pretty comprehensive, as you can see. Separate aircon system there, so we're 240 volt stuff here, and you can decide whether you want it from shore power or generator or off. So it's all switched from there, all very get-atable, that favourite word. Accessible, I was corrected too, but I quite like get-atable, so I'm sticking with that. Okay, shoes. Let's do the outside. Now, one thing we pass as we go down this side is this little fella, because in behind here is a wing station for the engine and thruster controls. And the idea of that is if you're stern berthing, as you often are in the Mediterranean, that you're right by the back of the boat. You can stand here, use these controls, and see exactly what you're doing as you're coming backwards. Very handy feature. Really deep bulwarks on these side decks, so you're very much in this boat. Again, it's that sort of super yacht feel that it's got, rather than just a big motor cruiser. And even the overhangs as well, look at this. Real proper super yacht stuff, fantastic. Let's head on up to the front. And up here you've got a massive sunbathing area. There's the hatch above the forward cabin. And a nice little seat right at the front, so you can sit up here when you're cruising down the coast at low speed with a brilliant view of Berthon's car park, or more ideally perhaps the Mediterranean. You can decide. Massive ground tackle gear here. Look at the size of that anchor. It's immense. It's a big boat everywhere you look, not just in physical size but in terms of the gear that's on it. And that's the view aft. Pretty cool. Okay, let's head on to the flybridge and then we'll finish up with the crew quarters and the engine room. Okay, back down here. And our flybridge access is these steps over on this side. So this is obviously a whole other deck. You've got another helm position up here and plenty of seating for people to sit around or lie out on. This is rather nifty. All of the electronics or your navigation gear behind this looks like a spaceman's helmet, doesn't it? But you can lift that up and get access to it, or you can drop it down and protect it. Not seen one of those before. A bit more seating over on this side, then of course there's a bar with a, yep, it's one of those melee. I'm staking my claim to it. If you're wondering what I'm on about with the melee pronunciation, by the way, you need to check a few of my other videos because I get a lot of stick for the way I pronounce that. I always get it wrong. Okay, seating at the back, and then there's a huge rib on the back with a 50 horsepower outboard, so that's great for some water sports. This is the crane, of course, to lift it on and off with. And when you get to where you're going, you can drop that in the water to head for shore or for a bit of water skiing or water sports, whatever you want to do. Brilliant. And that dome on the top, by the way, that's for satellite TV, so you can get television wherever you are. And this canister here is a life raft. Right, let's finish on up with crew quarters. And they're accessed from the bathing platform. So when you're back along here, back out onto the platform. Love these curved steps onto the platform, that's very nice. And that's what this door here, you may have noticed it when we stepped on board, is for. So the first thing that greets us actually is the loo. So this is for people in this cabin, and then of course there's a door here, so that separates when this door is shut at the back. You can close this door and you've got private toilet facilities, and in fact a shower as well. You can just see it up there. And then the crew cabin itself, well, actually, for the size of boat, it's really good. A double bed on that side, so if you've got, as is often the way, a couple crewing the boat, often you'll have a skipper and then perhaps a stewardess, and they are together. They've got a double bed. If they have a row, one of them, probably him, will get dispatched over here. And of course, if you've got crew who aren't a couple, then clearly that is very useful. And in fact, there's a hatch up above, so you've got access straight out to the cockpit. So again, in an emergency situation, if you can't get that back door open for any reason, there's another way out. But then down here is the engine room. So if we open this fella here, okay, so these are a pair of Caterpillar C18 1000 horsepower diesel engines. It's a big engine room, full standing headroom, and lots of space to get around these. This fella here is a passerelle, so that's when your stern tube berth in the med, you can use that as a gangplank to get on and off. Now these engines are giving this boat a top speed of around the mid-20s, 24, 25 knots, and cruising then is about 19 knots, which is a great cruising speed, particularly considering the size of the boat. Genset is back here as well, of course. That's this fellow, and you've got air conditioning compressors and that kind of thing all neatly racked out, so everything is nice and easy to get to. Okay, let's come back out of here, close that one back up, and we'll head back out, and we'll finish up, I think, back on the boardwalk, because this is giving us a nice view of the boat. There she is. I think that's a pretty elegant boat and nicely put together and loads of space. But most of all, what I like about that boat is the super yacht feel to it. It really does feel like a cut above a normal 60-foot boat. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. If you have, do give the thumbs up a quick press. And if you hit subscribe and the little bell icon, it'll keep you posted more videos coming, because we've got some great stuff lined up. Hope to see you soon. Catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.